WIBTA for confronting my friend about their self-diagnosis? When me and my party met 20F, self-diagnosing person in question, we discussed some issues in our personal lives and they've explicitly denied any mental or physical illness. After a little bit, one of the people in our friend group talked about a recent operation that they underwent, which from then on 20F began to talk about some physical illnesses that she's been experiencing. Me having a medical background, she began to ask me questions about some of the things she's been experiencing. 20F began to talk about some really weird symptoms that I've never heard of before. 20F kept framing it like it was normal and how her family and friends aren't really worried about these things, even though the things she was saying would have been a massive red flag to conditions like lupus or various blood illnesses, but also aren't really consistent. Me and a friend kept urging her to go to a doctor's office because she kept talking about how it's affecting her day to day, but after a while it was clear that 20F had no intention to actually go to the doctor's office to get it checked, and so me and said friend gave up on trying to get her to go. After a while 20F began to talk about some fairly serious mental illnesses, not self-diagnosing herself at this point. 20F showed clear interest in learning about these illnesses, yet nobody in our group could really talk about them besides one who she frequently discussed this topic with. After a few days, said person began to get messages in her DMs about 20F self-diagnosing herself with various very serious mental disorders. X did, PTSD, autism, ADHD, GAD, out of the blue within the course of a week after 20F had those conversations. X with did, we were all sent a spreadsheet of different alters, 50 different alters, with different anime character pictures, with different races, ages, genders, physical disabilities and mental illnesses. In addition to that, some of the races were fantasy races from D&D, fantasy monsters and heavily sexualized characters from different shows. Also the ages for some of the alters were varied. The lowest age was 14 and the oldest age was 46. It's to the point where there's a new symptom or mental illness every single week, and it's not only getting hard to keep up with them, but it's also getting hard to interact with said person. 20F is also known for weaponizing her mental illnesses, them only being up for show whenever anything she doesn't want to happen happens. For example, a few days ago we were discussing some political topic, and when it wasn't going her way, she faked a panic attack to try and change the topic, confirmed by 20F. Now, this friend who got DM'd is sitting in a Discord call, thinking where do we draw the line? TLDR, our group met a new person who, after a few weeks, began to self-diagnose themselves with mental and physical illnesses. Then they began to weaponize their self-diagnosed illnesses whenever a conversation wasn't going their way.